Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, ImperialDane, Master Propaganda, Hero of the Empire, Defender of the Faith. Off here to 1 vs 1 on ANgoville. Between the north, we got the ImperialDane himself, fighting here for the Oberkommando Germany, Deutschland, the 107th Panzer Brigade, versus in the south, we got here Wuff, fighting for King and Country, the Guards Armour Division, tasked with breaking through to Arnhem. No matter the cost, he moves ahead for the Commonwealth. With mobile assault, special weapons, and tactical support regiment, triple infantry versus special operations, breakthrough, and Luftwaffe ground forces here with infantry, Sturmoffizier, and orbital bulletins with a Volksgrenadier Kubang start. Note the Sturmpani is rushing down here more aggressively, since that's sort of the opening I prefer with the Oberkommando West, trying to see out initial sort of engagement and can sort of win more favourably using my Sturmpanis. Initially, I'm trekking for him. He was actually pushing westwards. I mean, most no players do not, but in the off case he does go there, I'd rather be able to catch him off guard here, but there isn't anything, so I'm moving eastward there while the Volks is moving down there, so we'll try and pressure him, following up with the Kugelwagen, which will then try and secure the western territories then safely, because now I know there's nothing there. We got sandbags going up, he's going straight for the fuel point there, following up with points to connect it. Very good opening there from Wolf, with the Vickers on the way. I'm quickly moving down here just in case he's setting up something, and those got something around here, in which case I can surprise him, but there's nothing. Vickers moving up there for Wolf. Volks's most of the section here. And section caught out in the open by the Sturmpioniere. Closing in here, not the best engagement overall, so closing that they match out in the open. He's got targets up for the section. Honestly, I should have just fallen back and actually tried to support up north here rather than engage. And I mean, still get some damage in, but my Sturmpanis end up suffering quite a bit. We got the Vickers around here as well, so not the most fruitful engagement. I pushed back his section, but my Sturmpanis pushed back as well. And overall, I don't actually gain a lot of ground. Most I slow down Wolf a bit, but not the sort of fully most efficient there. And the Volksgrenadiers again would also benefit a lot more from it. So overall, bit of a weak start there, not the two sharpest engagement from me. But the Kugelwagen is gaining the west there, so that's something. And overall, do have more territory here than Wolf, so it's not a complete loss there, but that could have been a bit sharper, if you will. We got more Volks moving out here, other squads running away. Going to try and keep pressure up here and Wolf there to buy time for the rest of the map being secured there for the fatherland, the 107th Panzer Brigade, which was the only Panzer Brigade actually to arrive in Holland. They're doing Operation Market Garden, which, as a fun fact, one of the reasons, I mean, a lot of people just say, well, you know, it's the fact they had the Panzer Divisions there. No, not really. I mean, the Panzer Division were themselves negligible in strength in terms of just how much they could resist. I mean, they did have an impact because they were there where the airdrops were happening somewhat, but some of the bigger issues were basically just they grossly underestimated the Germans' response. For example, they assumed any new reinforcements would only be able to arrive in Holland from Germany like the next year. In the reality, the Germans could begin shifting reinforcements over there the same day, if not the next day. And also the response that way, that was just one of the bigger things that's never talked about Operation Market Garden, is just how grossly they underestimated, how much the Germans would respond and what they would respond with. Again, they were barely expecting no response. The Germans flooded in there with Panzer Brigades, improvised tank units, a lot of infantry units, just improvised units, flooded to England just sort of trying to establish things there as an example. So that's some of those less talked about bits there, for example, about Operation Market Garden. In the west here, we got section up against Volksgrenadiers. It's going to see something there going on, so I'm slightly dispatching troops here. Troops are pressed by the Vickers. Certainly a bit difficult for me to deal with until I get an incendiary grenade off. Calling in a truck here for the Battle Group headquarters. We're securing the east nicely here. That's the 107th Panzer Brigade, and there we go. Got the section on the run from the Hun. Universal arriving here for Wolf with the Vickers on the way. That's going to be quite a problem for me since I do not have any anti-tank weapons right off the bat here. So that's going to be able to put some nasty pressure on me. Meanwhile, Wolf is also moving up here on the west side. But you got Volks there pressing up, constantly trying to, keep Wolf there on the pressure in the east as well. At the same time, not trying to push too far ahead either. Wolf himself having teched up here, or is taking up. Could follow up with some sappers quickly. Snipers, armoured cars, mortar emplacements. A lot of options there for Wolf here in the early game with a fast tech. Got a doctrine, it's going to be breakthrough doctrine. And immediately choosing here breakthrough tactics to be able to quickly cut off his points and harass him in response. Section there was Sturmplanis this time a lot better off due to better ability to advance, plus he was moving in while the Sturmplanis were pursuing. But of course, using this to quickly cut him off some resources here in the east, in particular the fuel point, which is now unguarded as he pressures me in the west. That's really one of the better usage of breakthrough tactics in general. It is very good for harassment and catching your opponent off guard, forcing them to react to your moves. Close to losing a Volksgrenadier squad there. Looks like I get a bit filthy lucky there. Sturmpioniere holding up. Need to get some anti-tank weapons up. We first got the Battle Group headquarters. Wuff for the sappers out to support the men here of the guards' armour to clear the path for the tanks. The men. Kubang supporting bit here with the Sturmpani as well, just being rather gunned down here by all the firepower Wuff is bringing to bear, but I am securing the points here. Wuff is not responding, and I'm just taking advantage of this, just take a lot of the map there. It's a bit of a mixed sort of bag here for Wuff. Kubang falling back, up here troops reinforcing, Academy arriving for the Fatherland, and we got a counter-attack here in the east from Wuff, doubling up his sections, moving in there. You could also shift the Vickers machine gun in. We got mines down in the crossroads, very good spot there, General. You'll never really be hurt by mining there. There's always someone who's going to try and cross over there eventually, so it's pretty good. And something got broken there, looks like the shed there. Quick Brandhand grenade against the section and then closing in for the Fatherland. Support number 2 moving in there. Catching Wuff's men here off guard. He was not expecting that level of concentration from the Huns. Good lord! Where did all these Germans come from? Probably Germany. Probably there. Oh, right, we are pretty close to Germany, aren't we? Yes, we are. Sabs there going for the fuel. We got the Kuban in pursuit. We got a 6-pounder gun up for Wuff to support his men. Holding up here around the fuel point, gaining me a fat fuel lead here with Wuff with 27 versus 19. And Sabs out in the open, desperately trying to fuel pump, but without a doctrine like, say, Vanguard, he can't quickly do it. So in that regard, when it comes to these sort of things here, I have a definite advantage thanks to Breakthrough Doctrine. Allowing me to that way exert some more aggressive map control versus Wuff. That's going to be one of Wuff's bigger challenges this match, trying to handle that. Back here, 6-pounder gun around there for Wuff, for the guards' armour. Another fun fact about the whole fighting in Ireland, other elements that, underestimated besides the German response, which again, though, it's a really big one, which you'd be surprised does not get much mention. Again, it's very much just focused on the Panzer Division. But this, even then, when it comes to those two SS Panzer Divisions, there's one thing they also tend to neglect is both of those Panzer Divisions had, while they were training in Normandy, taken part in anti-paratrooper tactics. So when the Allies dropped down there around Arnhem and so on there, the Germans knew exactly what to do to counter it. Fun fact is, you just have to counterattack immediately, that way ensuring they can't stabilise the situation. So in that regard, that's sort of one of those fun things, because again, the SS Panzer Divisions had few tanks left again, but what they did of course have was a lot of experienced personnel again with anti-paratrooper tactics training. And there's so many fun things there which again get neglected when they talk about, whole Operation Market Garden and why things were rather pear-shaped. Real pressure here. We got a Flak Halftrack on the way this side for that one here. Again, I had a few advantages I think were sizable. My opponent was pressing with infantry, so I think that the Flak Halftrack would be able to return the favour a bit to Wuff there. Had I not had such a large fuel advantage, it would be a considerably bigger mistake there, since it would hurt my tech. And of course, in theory, I could have taken the head here much faster, and so he'd gone for schwer planted quarters. But at the same time, with that much territory and that much advantage, the Flak Halftrack here could help me hold on to it a bit better here versus Wuff. Wuff is certainly striking back here. He is yet to go for Doctrine. Got the Academy over there arriving. A Panzer Brigade, by the way, would have access to Flak Halftracks. And this particular version, in fact, by 1944-45, most Flak Halftracks, if not all of them, would have been equipped with flak drillings, which were basically repurposed aircraft machine guns, sort of set into sort of like a triple machine gun mount there to be used as an anti-aircraft gun. Also surprisingly good versus infantry targets. I kind of wish they'd gone for that one rather than this version, as that kind of looked cooler. But there you go, got the Flak Halftrack out here. Volkskriegs moving ahead. No Sturmgewehrs on the way from a Volkskriegs. By the way, that's a big mistake. That generally you want to upgrade them. Even if you do use stuff like this, which I do, and of course that requires munitions, you kind of still want to go for the assault rifles for the Volkskriegs. So I'm actually making a bit of a strategic error there by not adding assault rifles. The Flak Halftrack gives me a lot of firepower, allows me to hold territory more aggressively versus my opponent, and deny. So we've got the Sturmoffizier here, a hardened commander from the 107th Panzer Brigade, instructing his men to do their best against Tommies. Shoot harder! Aim harder! How do they aim harder? Aim for their testicles. Ah! You truly are wise, Herr Oberleutnant. Ja, I have seen many a thing on the Eastern Front. And there you go, quick use of force retreat, forcing away his Vickers machine gun, leaving his defences at the front line a lot more exposed. In that regard, I do feel like the Sturmoffizier has an amazing amount of utility, which tends to get neglected there. In the west here, we got Sabbath charging into the Volksgrenadiere. The Kid and Flak Halftrack here basically holding the line. I'm sort of expecting Wuff, by the way, to try and kick me with an armoured counter or a tank rush, though so far there is none of that. It's why I'm keeping my Kid for close to the Flak Halftrack, and neither sort of leaves each other, because if he, say, goes for, you know, armoured car and they then don't have the Kid near the Flak Halftrack, he can easily destroy it, so there's a bit of sort of an intensity, again, an expectation of Wuff going for the armoured car, but Wuff is in fact streaming straight on for armour. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. But you might want to consider fuel caches if you can find the manpower for it. But there you go. Pressure on the left flank as well. Flak Halftrack they're moving in. To shoot source for verdammte Inselaffen. Or at least scare them away. Back here healing reinforcement going on. Note I am not going for field medics right away because I want to save as much fuel as possible so we can rush out armour. As part of my overall strategic imperative, which is also again why I don't go for the Flak Halftrack unless I'm really far ahead. Like again, you have both fuel points for some time. If I do not have that, it's in fact a really bad idea to go for the Flak Halftrack. It's sort of thing, you got a fat advantage, you then try to solidify it further to buy more time, otherwise you try and push ahead for the tanks. And sounds like here Wuff is actually clearing out a path using the destroy cover ability, so his anti-tanker doesn't have to take a very long path. Very good use there, by the way. Very good use of the ability. Could also clear out lines, arcs of fire there. Using it. Oh, looks like he's actually doing it already there. It's actually a surprisingly neglected ability, and the only one I also really seen using it is actually Sage of the Six. So it's actually nice to see someone besides him using this ability and, you know, doesn't cheese out the game. Mine spotted, Flak Halftrack clears out, incendiary grenade in the house in case there's a machine gun. Overall nice tactical approach. Flak Halftrack moving in to support the advance. Quickly occupying the house. Note, by the way, they won't take much damage because the thing to keep in mind is they don't do damage where they're aiming at, or in the windows they're occupying. The thing is, the enemy's on the other side, so I can easily pop an incendiary grenade, occupy the house, they'll fight the enemy on the other side. Mine goes off, that costs me a bit more. The Vickers almost wiped out. Flak Halftrack blasting away and wiped. Nice assault there. Up here, Sappers covering the flank a bit there, so pressuring and hitting the cutoff point, which Wuff could perhaps set up a few more defences for. Pushing ahead here. Flak Halftrack troops trucking down in the western side of spare punted quarters by the fuel point in the west. Pushing ahead here. Anti-tank is setting up. Volkswagen's got a Panzerfaust maybe here. Nope, don't have enough munitions for it, but supported here by the officer, they can still lay down a murderous fire against Wuff's forces. His Vickers, of course, lost, means he's got no way of suppressing me. 6 pellet gun wiped out. Casualties piling up for Wuff here under this rather decisively aimed dagger blow at the side of Wuff here. And certainly one tip to just overplaying ANgoville a bit is just to focus on these areas here around these cutoff points. In particular, this one is a rather vital one. It's also why generally as the Wehrmacht recommend you never go east if you're south, because this is going to be large bother to have to defend. Got Panzerfusilier here arriving to support the 107th Panzer Brigade. In the south, folks, there versus the Universal Care blasting over this machine guns, killing any Huns they see. And the Flak Halftrack makes it much easier for me to just dig down around his cut-off point. Wuff is sometime off from any armour. Pushing westwards and forcing away my troops. Still no doctrine from Wuff. He could go for special weapons here. Anti-tank infantry maybe half to support troops because K's there. Could do a lot to pressure me off. Commandos maybe with mobile assault could be an idea. Tactical support I don't think will do Wuff much good. And there you go. Quick breakthrough tactics against Islam to quickly cut off his fuel stream when he gets back the area here. You know, I've already done a lot of damage to his economy, which is what you want to do as the Oberkommando West. And there we go, we do get the doctrine, and it is mobile assault here for Wuff, opening up for commandos and advanced carpet combat, allowing his men to much more decisively engage me. We'll have to see how that works out. I mean, he could infiltrate a commando squad here right next to the officer, possibly cut him down up here from here. We'll have to see if Wuff does that. Shroud Planting Corps is now covering the western fuel point. After doing what he can there. Sturm Pioneers arriving. Flak Halftrack moving in as well. Universal Care supporting here. And the officer being pushed back, forced to fall back before he loses his life in service of Germany. While he might exert others to be a hero, he has no intention of becoming a hero himself. Yeah, I have to save some of the heroism for you guys at the front. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm such a generous Oberleutnant. Well, there you go, straight into the Panzerfusilier. Quick anti-tank rifle grenade there from them. And knocks out the unit that's carried, denying Wuff then another mobile element. He's very close to the Cromwell, but he's still lacking the fuel. He is still lacking the fuel, and that is definitely a bit of a problem here for Wuff. Panzerfusilier there, counter-attacking. Carnage casing out, grenades being satcheled up there. And still no upgrades from a full Grenadiers. Again, a bit risky there to be honest by me though. Thankfully, Wuff is not upgrading any of his troops. That is rather helping me out a lot there. And there's been no Bren guns whatsoever. If he had gone for that, I'd be much more punished by the way for not going for assault rifle. There you go, commanders arriving. That should put some pressure on me for that one. Give me a hit over my fingers. Flamethrowers up for the sappers, making it harder for me to use cover as well across the buildings. Pushing forward there with his commander, seizing territory for king and country, reclaiming the path to Arnhem. And of course the Flak Halftrack quickly putting a stop to the sappers. Just keep shooting until they stop screaming. What then? Then we collect our paycheck. But there you go again, flank here. Most players, by the way, try to wire off this little strip here so they can't, you know, so people can't do what I'm just doing there, which is just run about here, occupy the house. Some might use sandbags, mines, but overall, usually they always leave something here to try and make this a lot bloody more difficult. Commanders here versus the Sturmpioniere, also flanking, need to retreat them there. He's by the way, I'm using the target the mobility, which makes them, as you can see, they're a lot easier to kill. Again, the Sturmoffizier has a lot of utility. There you go, flamethrowers arriving. Flak Halftrack going in to put more pressure on Wuff. And a Panzerkampfwagen so in that regard, I'm actually getting ahead of Wuff in terms of armour. Not a huge surprise considering the sort of amount of harassment they're able to do. In which case, I'm actually negating the usual British advantages. Their tech is cheaper and they can usually get out on medium tank faster than the Wehrmacht and Oberkommanders opponents. But because of the consistent fuel harassment, using breakthrough tactics, and of course in this case the Flak Halftrack investment actually turning out this time well, I've pretty much been able to deny Wuff a lot of fuel. And he's flooding a lot of manpower, and in that regard he would strongly benefit, I feel, from a fuel cache to help offset it. So we'll have to see if Wuff goes for it. There you go, troops push back, their casualties piling up here for the 107th Panzer Brigade. And there you go, Cromwell for Wuff. Panzer IV though almost done here for the 107th Panzer Brigade. There you go, Panzerkampfwagen 4. Ready for action. There you go, infantry supporting a Panzer IV push up the eastern side. He does have an anti-tank gun. And he's also quick to lay down mines around here. But again, fuel cache would not be a bad idea. He's also trying a bit more harassment in the west. Not a bad idea either. There you go. Note I'm sticking for the Panzer for slightly longer here because there's more room to maneuver, meaning, for example, here could get stuck in a mine or anything else, in which case it would be difficult to get the Panzer out. Whereas here, there's slightly set mines because, you know, where do you lay them? And overall, there's also a lot more room to maneuver. So, for example, there's an anti-tank around here, a better chance of actually getting on its, you know, more easily killable side with a Panzer IV. So this is overall better Panzer territory compared to this area here. There you go, Cromwell out here for Wuff. Guards armour, finally bringing up some armour. But again, he would strongly benefit from fuel cache or two here. Probably recommend one of the carve point to make it hard for me to harass it overall. Cromwell here versus the Panzer IV. Shots bounce. Cromwell quickly running back here in the face of the Panzerkampfwagen 4 forces, those being forced out of cover. Too many British with too many guns. Close there to a loss, but they do manage to get out of there. Sandbags, on the other hand, ruined here by the Panzerkampfwagen 4. If the Reich can't have them, no one can. Got the 6th Panzer setting up here versus the Panzer IV. There we go. Bounces off the armour there. Bit unlucky there for Wuff. Second shot, though, also bounces. Looks like Lady Fortune was on my side there. And there you go, push up here. Section push back, another push here, even as he's pushing up through these there. Catching off with Gart. Mine in this case slows down the assault a bit. Cromwell back to then try and deal with it. 6th Panzer gun rushing off. He has a Vickers though, number 2. That's going to help a lot there if you can set up in the right position. Once more, assault supported by the Sturmoffizier is a bit harder for Wuff there to deal with. Sappers advancing. Grandhand Grenadier forcing their Tommies out of cover there. Sappers retreating. And got the Flak Halftrack joining, so it'll make it much harder for Wolftrack to, counter-attack. As the Flak Halftrack will quickly sort of just lay down suppressive fire on anything that sort of enters the area. Cromwell moving in again, taking straight hits from the Kednev and the Panzer IV. 6-pounder gun to find back. Third bouncer, that's really lucky though. Technically the Panzer IV does not have such a high chance of doing it usually, but fourth shot is finally lucky here, penetrates. Land matches out for Wuff. Bit risky, costing a lot of fuel. I mean, it is artillery, which could put some pressure on me. In particular, if I do bunch up my men accidentally in some spot, but it's not without its risks either. And of course, it does require some serious expertise to sort of use correctly. Otherwise, it's just going to be a wasted barrage. So I'm not entirely sure how well that's going to work out for Wuff. But overall, my plan is just to maybe, in case if anything gets serious, just fall back, allow them to push ahead, and then also just try to hit from the point here and hit them to call point and flank behind any forces here. But there you go. Flak Halftrack dealing with the section there. Panzer IV, like Kednev a bit under fire here. And like Kednev I got whacked. Better loss there for me actually. Should have pulled it back. Sturmpioneer advancing to the house. Like Kednev a quick recruit. The 6-pounder gun shoots, misses. Troops being suppressed. Vic is blasting away. Section joining in the fun as well. And securing the eastern fuel point here. Flak Halftrack still about there. Veterans who won 8 kills. And there you go. Land matches fire straight into the midst of everything. Straight on like Kednev from troops being caught there on retreat. And almost got a wipe then the full squad there. Crumbling enough for the infantry as well. Full retreat in fact here. I just bail on this rather than, waste manpower and potentially trying to hold my ground while the land matches here saturating it with rockets. That is a small tactical victory here for Wuff. Though of course we'll have to see if we can quickly move ahead and secure ground and make something out of it. You got a second Panzer IV in the meanwhile for me, since again I've got so much fuel I can just push ahead here. 2-pounder gun moving out, infantry supporting. Mines being laid down here, and some sandbags here could be helpful for Wuff to defend the point. Vickers setting up, no sandbags. Falling back with the Panzer IV repairs, troops here, and now I've got the medics up because again I got my tanks out. And once you've got the tanks out, you can then go for medics. And there you go. Straight in here to the Sturm Officer Flak Halftrack. Crom moving ahead. Let's go for the Flak Halftrack. Smoke's being popped as soon as I hear the Crom advancing. Do take a hit, but nonetheless, helps out a bit there. Trenches being dug down here by Wuff. Determined to hold the line this time. And as all this is happening, I'm setting up for another flank around here, while using the Panzer IV at the front line as a bit of a bait against Wuff. Which is usually a part of a good flank. You usually try to, put something up to actually draw your opponent's attention. Usually some kind of, priceless bait. And then you sort of hit them really hard from another. Now there you can see sort of track here from here, which is usually more or less guarded off. Quickly getting behind here. So attacking through here, and he's now going up here. In fact, what happens right now, by the way, is I completely forget I have a Panzer IV up there, by the way. But it's not working out because now my assault here is just completely breaking through. Ignoring anything he got there, so lose the Panzer IV quite senselessly. On the other hand, I completely disarm Wuff's defense position. He's got the trench, but not enough force to really defend it. About to lose the full squad there, wiped. So I'm actually suffering some losses now here. But I'm moving straight after the land matches with my Panzer IV. And all the infantry in his base. And the thing is, his tank can move down because I got my Kednev infantry actually blocking the way, so he's trying to rush after it. He might lose it, and there you go again. 3 seconds moving about, land matches down. Another Cromwell there for Wuff. I mean, he does have more fuel now, but there you go. Panzer IV moving in, getting some kills there against the Tommies. Cromwell moving through here, taking hits from anti-tank weapons. And there you go, Panzer IV snaring up, and now the anti-tank, of course, is also caught in a bad position here. Thusly highlighting the power of a good flank. In particular, the ones that actually cut off the safe retreat path of your opponent's tanks. So there you go, Panzer IV going in after the Cromwell. Penetrating hit, but the Cromwell's already heavily damaged. Panzer IV, though, managed to miss at that range. Troops here trying to get out of there. The Vickers doing counterpart covering fire, but the problem is there's just too many Germans. And there you go, round there, he's allowing it to get shot to bits, and there you go, Cromwell down, Panzer IV barely survives here. 6-pounder gun wiped out, Flak Halftrack blasting away at the Vickers, forcing that away. Infantry charging through the Kednev forced off, second Cromwell almost done there. Second Cromwell almost done. And there you go. Vickers wiped as well. But there's a huge force here from Wuff. Huge force. Massive even. Quickly occupying the trench. The problem is there's just one man left in the trench by that point. Vickers being recruited there. Flak Halftrack they're joining them. More suppression. Panther bombarding. Got the Flak Halftrack under fire from the Cromwell as he just barges his way through. Smoke screen popped up there. Troops being suppressed. Pinned down. Flak Halftrack goes down there. Good attack round there through the smoke. He anticipated obviously where my Flak Halftrack would go. That was real well done there by Wuff. Direct hit on the Cromwell by the 6-pounder gun here. And Orbital done on the way here for the fatherland, Germany. Wuff's forces though have been battered a bit here, to put it mildly. Have been battered. Fixing up the Panzer IV there, troops reinforcing or retreating to the base here. Sturm Officer Bar is still alive with 13 kills to his name. He's done quite good work. Then finally got weapon racks up for Wuff. Could have benefited from one I think sooner. Or maybe just the occasional advanced cover combat could also help them, I think, in some certain engagement versus me and giving him a lot more firepower. But that's obviously too late now. Six-pounder gun setting up there. Vickers hanging back here. And the Panzer IV is good to go for Germany once more here. Close to Infantry 2, but not quite there. Not quite there. Panzer IV very, very close to Infantry 2. Six-pounder gun to fire there. Could be wiped here, but there you go. Panzer IV returns to the favour to the section advancing and get some good hits. The Pioneers joining in. Half H Veteran 3. Bit of action from the south. We got troops beginning to deal with that. And we got the Orbital moving up there with an LMG-34. Ready to flank Wuff again. Again, this is a bit of a blind spot for Wuff, to be honest. And again, it's generally why I don't like ever sort of having to rely on this area from the south. Because again, it can easily become a big blind spot. Mines attempted to lay down here, but in this case caught by the Orbital who quickly fired for a lot of shots there up close. Quick bundle grenade, and he dodges it nicely. Catch my Orbital in a very bad spot, forcing retreat there for me. Six-pounder gun needs to report back for reinforcement healing before that is lost. He goes for second land matches. I'm definitely not keen on that. Hopefully he's going to grab some of those Bren guns, and there we go. Could benefit a lot from those sooner, to be honest. Panzer IV is situated there because he can't easily see it, and he can easily sort of cover the area here. And of course he can attack ground through the hedges, but it still requires a bit. There we go. Wipe the sapper section. Quite a bloody loss there for Wuff. Might have benefited more from an anti-tank gun here, to be honest, than the land mattress. And meanwhile, I'm setting up for a Panther. I'm not underestimating Wuff and what he can do, so I'm just sort of aiming for a nice Panther, so that will sort of challenge any crumbles, anything else I might get. There we go, full test with the section of the Bren guns. But caught by Banham Granate, supported by the Vickers here. The British infantry stalled quite aggressively. And the section needs to retreat as well. The Panzer IV course with Virtue 2 is really nasty. Land matches file here, trying to destroy as much as possible. And has limited impact. Courses retreat. That is about it. Damage entering the Cromwell again. Once more, the flank is proving to be really hazardous. Obviously, I know why he's not trying to focus now more on the west. There's the Schwer 100 quarters, but obviously what Wuff could do is, try and sort of attack for another approach, trying to catch me off guard with that, instead of just taking the same approach every single time. But there you go, Panzer IV moving in, taking fire from the Cromwell. I'm just pulling back because I am assuming that Wuff is going to be bringing up an anti-tank gun soon. I do not want to risk caught in an insider's base and an anti-tank gun nearby. In particular, not with a Panther on the way. I mean, that's those sort of moves that could actually cost you a match there if you're just getting too overconfident too quickly. So I'm just going to, fall back here, dig in, and prepare for whatever Wuff does next while waiting for my Panther. Panzer Fusilier falling back. Section reinforcing healing, points being secured. And there you go, Panzerkampfwagen 5 arriving for Germany. Fixing up the Cromwell. Fun fact, the 107th Panzer Brigade was also one of the few Panzer Brigades in the war that actually performed well, in fact so well that it would be upgraded to a Panzer Grenadier Division. That was the 16th Panzer Grenadier Division, and in fact it would have had some of the equipment the Panzer Brigade had, so it would have been one of the few Panzer Grenadier Divisions with the Panthers, Jagdpanzers and Halftracks as a fun note. But there you go, Cromwell there catching the Panthers' flank. Going to turn the front of the Panther towards the Cromwell there. Shot bounced off the 80mm sloped armour. No 6-pounder gun here for Wuff though. And sending in the armour here after him. And going straight here for the land mattress, destroying it entirely. Before then falling back. Because without the land matches, of course, got no artillery, which makes, of course, much easier for me to defend. Mines being laid down there. Grenade off. And Panther 4 there, blasting away the machine guns at the section out in the open. Pushing forwards here. 49 points left for Wuff. Cromwell setting up, close to infantry 2. Armoured off, Vickers going off at the same time, and there go another armoured flank here. Crossing through the hedgerows this time around. There you go, 6-pounder gun shoots at the Panther but fails to penetrate. Cromwell fails to hit. Bounces again. 6-pounder gun at max range, I think, has roughly a 50-50 chance of penetrating the Panther's frontal armour. There you go, another hit there, Cromwell almost dead. 25 points left for Wuff. And there you go, GG, game over. Loss here for the Guards armour, in this case seen off quite aggressively by the 107th Panzer Brigade on the road to Arnhem. A nasty little fight here, but also I think just a fight highlight just the power of just knowing how to flank, in particular again some of these exposed points here on ANgoville just really can just do a lot for you. In particular this one, it's just, if you can flank it consistently, properly, it can really just put a lot of pressure on your opponent. Again, it's generally why I always recommend, if you're south, you go west first, because it's a lot harder to pull off that one compared to here. Again, there's just so many blind spots. You can just easily just be consistently hit there. Or that he should have defended a lot more with mines and something else. Maybe a mortar emplacement, in fact, to just make it hard for me to get close to the point without, you know, taking a lot of damage. I think that would have done a lot there for Wuff, to be honest. Otherwise, certainly also highlighting the power of Sturm Officer, and also just breakthrough tactics. I mean, just allow me to just aggressively sort of pull the map into my favour at times versus Wuff, and certainly also not having the ability to actually push his, you know, usual advantage of being able to go for tanks fast versus me allowing me to actually be the one to first get our tank first, and that really, as the Orbital Command Best, is a big advantage. So that I think really played a bit of a role there as well. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe to the friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and a part of feedback in the comment section. And if you like what I do on a daily basis, do consider donating. Would be most appreciated, as I do try to do this for a living, and every donation helps out a ton. Links are in the video description, where you can find such as PayPal or Patreon. Others appreciate. Of course, a big thanks to all my Patreon supporters, without which episodes like these would not be possible. So big thanks to all of you. This is ImperialDane saying cheers. Thank you all for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye.